Hello, we are live. I'm Will. I'm here with Kyle, and we're going to answer some of your questions, get right into it. If you got questions for us, put them down below in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them. If we don't have the answer to them, we definitely know someone who does, so we'll get that answer for you. But without further ado, we got a few little things to talk about before we get into the Q&A portion. Do you want to start it off with what's cool and new on the website?
Yeah, so coolest thing that I've seen on the website recently is the Hello Reef Aquarium and stand combos, which I think is a great deal. I was looking at the price on those and like hard to beat the cost on a 15-gallon tank.
Yeah.
And stand combo, I think it's like $250.
I think it's somewhere around there.
It's not even that expensive.
Yeah.
Then you can just get the rest of the gear that you want. Just special note, it's not the whole Hello Reef kit, it's going to be just the aquarium itself and the stand.
Yep, it's just a very normal all-in-one 15-gallon tank. Does it even come with the pump, or is it just the tank itself?
I believe it's just the tank.
Oh,
so you get to
it's
choose.
still a good deal.
Yeah, you get to choose all the gear that you want, so there's no extra gear that you don't want. It's start from scratch with a good quality tank, good quality stand, and the rest is all yours to set your journey up. So I think this is great for the people that love the idea of Hello Reef, but have their own ideas and like want to go all out on the gear.
Yeah.
Like say if they want to do like radions or something like that, you're not spending money on like a blade that you may not want. You're spending money on a radion instead. So
yeah, those Hello Reef tanks are really cool. We have one over here. Stands are really nice too.
Yeah.
They look really sleek. They got a little shelf in it, so it's perfect for like all the electronics go up on the shelf, and then maybe your auto top-off reservoir or something goes down below.
And they're super easy to build.
Yeah, I've built a lot of them, and they are really easy actually. They're pretty
They're
easy.
quick. It's like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, I'd
Give or
say.
take.
Yeah, 10 to 20. You can do it pretty quick.
Yeah.
So those are pretty cool. What else is going on? Well, I did a little video on tropic marine salts. I gotta say, I learned a lot about tropic marine salts. I knew the gist between all of the 4 different types, but I learned a lot about bioactive in specific.
I bet you did.
Reef active. It's very interesting stuff. At first, I thought maybe some of those salts that have bacteria in them might be maybe a little like gimmicky or something. But if you're willing to do the water change or mix the water like when you do the water change, they're really, really cool things.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool product.
I would say they're really awesome. They do a lot of really good things. It just doesn't fit my personal style because I'm one that likes to mix up like 100 gallons at a time and then do my water changes over the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So they're not the best for me just because of the prebiotics and probiotics that are in them, but they're really good for those that mix it on the fly.
Yeah, that symbiotic one with the prebiotics for the fish is really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting idea. I like the concept. In the video I mentioned like just keep a little box of it on hand so you can use it if you get a new fish or something. I really like that idea. Yeah. You're bringing in maybe a delicate like leopard wrasse or something like that. Do a little water change with that symbiotic salt and it adds that prebiotic to the water. Really cool stuff.
I think it's really cool. It's also really good if you have a nano tank and you're not mixing up 100 gallons at a time. You just mix up a 5-gallon bucket at a time. You just scoop it out.
If you're already making your water right before your water change, look into the ones with probiotics or prebiotics in them because they will grow bacteria if you store it over a long period of time. But if you're just going to use it, it's really interesting.
Yeah, and you get the clean salt mixing of all of them, right?
Oh, my mic is being quiet, I was told.
Oh.
Let's see if we can get it fixed. But yeah, so that's really cool stuff. What else we got going on?
What else we got going on? There's a lot of things happening for Black Friday right now. So I've been seeing a lot of products coming in. I've been seeing some of the stuff come in for the giveaways that I'm really excited about. And I think we're getting some swag too.
Oh yeah.
It's really exciting. So
yeah, I saw some of that stuff rolling through.
Teasing it right now. I can't give away any of the details, but I am super pumped. I've seen a lot of it. I helped pick out some of the designs.
I will say I'm actually looking at some right now.
Yeah,
and it's cool.
It's right there.
It's really cool.
More to come.
Yes.
A lot of exciting things happening. It's going to be a really fun Black Friday season. I'm looking forward to November.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going to be all over all the streams, giving things away as usual, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's all a complete surprise, so what I'm saying is just like guesses. Yeah. But it's going to be on par with what has happened before. Great deals as always around Black Friday time. Stock up on the goodies, maybe. What was it that Jason always says? Want but don't need?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
all the wants.
Get all your wants, and maybe you'll get some stuff you actually need too.
All I gotta say is I'm just very excited because there's a lot of new things coming this Black Friday season. So keep your eyes open. If you need some of your necessities now, there's a lot of great sales going on now too. But Black Friday is gonna be a really fun time.
Yeah, definitely. And you were here last week, right? Or the week before
2 weeks
with
ago.
Thomas. I was out. I was doing jury duty.
Oh,
that was fun.
A bummer.
Yeah, so do my service. But no, I would have rather been here talking about reefs.
Yeah, I had Thomas right here on the screen, so I felt like I was talking to an AI robot in a way.
That was a little interesting.
I mean, it was fun. I love Thomas. Great personality, wealth of knowledge on everything reefing.
Yes.
So it was really good having him here to talk about it. And I think it was a great start to potentially having some other mystery guests on these live streams.
Yeah, I would love to hear what, like, if you guys have ideas of who you'd want to see on a live stream. I have my own ideas. Some people that I would love to pick their brains, but if you guys got ideas, let us know in the comments down below. I'm interested to see what names show up.
Yeah, I'm curious what your like top 2 choices would be.
Oh man. Vic from Worldwide. I love picking his brain about how he chooses his corals. The way he has just the eye.
Yes.
You know, and maybe he doesn't always. I mean, he talks a lot about how to maintain and keep your corals, but I'm really curious about how he picks them because he just has a very specific eye, and I've seen him pick some corals that maybe aren't the like craziest looking, and then they turn out to be the craziest looking.
Yeah.
So it's I'm definitely interested.
How does he know?
How does he know? How does he know what they're going to look like? Very interested in that. And then actually, like, I'm a longtime fan of Julian Sprung.
Okay, yeah.
And so obviously,
he's a
I'd
legend.
love to have Julian Sprung out here. That would be pretty interesting, and I'd love to talk to him about mangroves in specific.
Oh yeah.
I keep seeing videos of his like front yard or whatever it is, his house or his office space.
Both?
Both, and just packed with those mangroves. It's so cool looking.
Yeah.
What about you? You got preferences?
A
names?
couple that will come to mind. I would really love to have Greg Carroll on.
Yep.
He's been in the hobby for so long, and I just would love to pick his brain about how he stayed motivated and kept with it and done it so well from start all the way till now. Like, he is still going and has
He's so positive,
a
too.
gorgeous tank.
Yes.
And always a ray of sunshine. Like, I've never seen him be like super negative about anything. He's just like, your reef, do it your way, respect, but also has like a great example to follow.
Right.
So him, and then I think another top choice for me would be someone like on the coral research side. So like Carrie O'Neill over at the Florida Aquarium would be really fun to interview and talk to, just to get to know like what does it take to get a coral to spawn.
Right.
Like how much work does it put on you to like figure out where, like how to set everything up. How feasible is it for someone at home to actually do it?
Right.
So do you really need a full lab? Do you need a dedicated staff, or is this something that I could try doing at home to like some varying degree of success?
Yeah.
So that'd be really fun. Or talking to Sydney Reefing from Instagram.
Okay.
He's got like an upside down reef tank now, which I think is really cool.
Oh, that's fun. That's the one with the rock mounted to the back?
Yeah, rock mounted to the back. He's got lights underneath the tank.
Yeah.
So I would love to pick his brain about like how he came up with that idea and how he's like actually executing it and how it's working, like just maintenance day to day.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear about like how the corals are growing, you know, for example.
Also getting the Australian reefing perspective too, because he's in Australia, so he's got access to like some of the most beautiful corals that get imported. So
some of those Australian tanks that I've seen are
Yeah.
just insane.
Yeah.
I wish we could have some of those corals.
yeah,
But we can't, but that's okay. But this is a super long tangent. I wanted to say, you guys, I think you guys spoke about the Deltec skimmers?
yeah.
Is
we
that
talked
true?
about it. Yes.
I didn't get to, and I want to because we put one on the tank back here, and it's really cool.
You liking it?
They're really cool. I am liking it. I am. The adjustment is really, really easy, and then the little neck cleaner.
Maintenance easy.
Maybe it's novel. I don't know how effective or how much it improves efficiency, but it feels good when I do it.
Yes.
You know, it makes me feel like I'm a part of the tank, and so I really like that aspect of it,
That's
as
good.
well as the tuning is really easy.
I really like the overflow tube. So you have the water level indicator on the side that's separate from the skimmer, where it's just water, no air bubbles.
It's nice.
And then it doubles as an overflow feature, so your skimmer doesn't dump skimmate back in your tank. Just
Yeah.
overflows again.
No, it has some really cool, unique features. I don't think I've seen them in other skimmers before,
I have not either.
or if I have, maybe there's some a more niche brand that offers that. But really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been around for ages.
They've been around so long.
I'm
and
so excited we have them.
I'm so excited that we have them. And then Thomas was teaching me about them. I just watched his spotlight video that he launched last week because I finally
Right.
had time. Blown away. He does great work with just videoing it and then also just describing it in a very basic way, so like anyone can understand
Yeah.
why the skimmer might be something for you. So
Yeah, those are some of my favorite videos. They kind of are like, they're definitely marketing videos. You know,
Yes.
they teach you about a product, but Thomas does it in such a way that it's really genuine. He features all the aspects that he actually likes, which I really appreciate of
and
it.
it's not like a dead comparison, like this brand is better than this. It's like, this is why this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can like determine it on your own.
It's much more unbiased, you know,
Yes.
the way Thomas does his reviews. Really cool
Yes.
stuff. Yeah. All right.
Awesome. But
Well, you want to get into questions?
yeah, I think we should do it.
Yeah.
What's
Oh, we have more to talk about. We got like a ton of corals behind us. I don't know if you guys can
we're gonna
see
keep
them.
talking about these corals. There's a lot.
But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frag racks behind
and
us.
a whole sand bed.
And a whole sand bed of a 100-gallon tank and a whole sand bed of an 80-gallon tank covered in coral. So the 80-gallon has a bunch of LPS and softies, and then this tank is covered in some SPS, acros, and some more LPS.
Stylos, bird's nests.
Really, really cool
Possible
stuff. There's stuff coming.
Yes.
There's going to be videos on these tanks. Interesting things.
Yeah.
I won't say more, but actually, do you have a favorite that is back here?
There's like a whole slew of favorites, but one of them might be an echinado that's really well known in the hobby.
Okay. There's this, I recently learned, I guess, that Ghani's branch. I knew certain species branched, but usually I've always seen them looking quite a bit different than like your normal, red or green Ghani. But we have one back here that's kind of normal looking, but it's branching, and so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And its pulps are like really out today, which is insane.
It's huge today, so it's looking really cool. But yeah, that's exciting. Stay tuned, see what we're gonna do with those, and why they're there. Let's get some questions underway.
Yeah, I think
Let's ask them. I'll start with Victoria's Reef. Asks, I can't kill off hair algae. I just dosed with reflux again. Nutrients are in line. Manually removing for months, and it keeps growing back. Cleanup crew and tangs are stocked up. I don't get it.
That is a tricky one. I have never used reflux personally for green hair algae because usually it doesn't do much in my experience. It's more so like really good for bryopsis. Might work for some hair algae, but some aren't. There's different genuses of hair algae, so not all of them are going to be affected by the reflux in the same way. Which it sounds like your particular genus is not one that is impacted by reflux if you've already dosed it and it hasn't worked. I'm going to say keep up with the manual removal. I might, with the manual removal, move to using a toothbrush or some other brush that you're not using for anything else besides your aquarium to scrub the rock to get what it is.
Those little OXO brushes are the stiff. I like them a lot.
Yeah, those, or even just like a toothbrush if you want to like get something quick, just run to Target or something like that. Grab one of those. You might need to kick that in there. But tangs, you may need a slightly bigger cleanup crew or look at what your cleanup crew is, because I've found certain members of the cleanup crew are very iffy on hair algae and better at dealing with diatoms. I'd recommend like trocus snails and tuxedo urchins personally for hair algae issues.
Definitely.
Or a sea hare if you're willing to dedicate feeding it or rehoming it after your hair algae is gone.
Yeah, I'd also say that depending on what kind of rock you have, some of them can have a lot of phosphates in them, inorganic phosphate. So having something like running some GFO for a period might help as well, because even though maybe your nutrients are looking in line on the test kit, there could be something bound in the sand, bound in the rocks, that they could be utilizing to grow. And so I find using some GFO, using phosphorus or ROAPHOS, something like that, can help even if your phosphate levels are normal.
Yeah. Also going to take a couple of things I forgot to say. If you have a smaller tank or don't have a lot of rock work or don't have a lot of corals that you have to work around, you can take the rocks physically out of the tank and use hydrogen peroxide as an option. It's a little bit more extreme, a little bit more in depth than you may want to go, but take your Saturday or Sunday, do that briefly. Also, I'm pretty sure Thomas has a Help I Wrecked My Tank video that will go in detail about a bunch of different approaches you can take.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And so check that out too.
Thank you for the question, Victoria's Reef. Hopefully that helps. Let us know in next stream if anything improves. Mr. Melander asks, recently got a par meter because my zoas are all stretching. It shows them at 50 to 70-ish par. How much should I increase this? Also, I thought 50 would be enough. 50 should be enough.
Depends on the zoa.
For zoas. Yeah, I'd say it's going to depend on the zoa. I find that the bigger head ones are going to want more light even. That's why usually you see them like kind of stretched and extended. But usually I find it's like a nutrient problem. If they're looking a little pale, overextended, you might just need more nutrients that are consumable.
Yeah. I mean, only 50. If your light has room to go up in intensity, I would increase it, but I would probably aim for about 100 to 125. And if your light is a smart light, app controlled, like a Blade, Prime, Radion, use the acclimation mode to get up there. That way you don't like stress everything else out. And also when you make that increase, make sure the rest of the tank, you're not going to par shock anything else that's higher up in the tank or elsewhere in the tank by doing that adjustment.
Yep. Yeah, like you said, it really depends on the specific zoa. I find 80 is my number for zoas. You said like 100 to 120. So
Yeah.
somewhere in that range, you could bump it up a little bit. But honestly, 50 to 70 should also be fine
Yeah.
for the zoas. Sensei Greg asks, do sapphire damsels eat flatworms? We were
Yeah.
laughing about this earlier. Sometimes,
Yeah.
when they feel like it.
I'm going to say any fish eating any pest is not a guarantee.
Yeah.
It's always hit or miss. So even Aptasia eating filefish, some of them just never do.
Ours stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have one in the 360 and he stopped eating the Aptasia, so now I'm eating it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's they have the potential to. People have documented it, said that it's happened, but it's not guaranteed. You get a sapphire damselfish, it's going to eat flatworms.
Yeah.
Just like if you get a melanoris wrasse or a six-line wrasse, it's not going to guarantee eat all the pests that hitchhike on your corals.
Yep.
So
Yeah, when I was working in a fish store, we would throw basically any really aggressive damsel and a 6 or 4-line wrasse into the frag tanks, and they will eat the pests. They definitely won't get all of them. That'd be really, really challenging for them.
Yeah.
So if you have flatworms, you can help manage it, but it's not going to eradicate it.
exactly.
Thanks for the question. Rollbar asks, how to kill bubble algae?
Similar vein as the green hair algae.
Yep.
Manual removal is going to be your best friend with bubble algae. I like to use my hand and then a siphon, break off as many bubbles as I can, just siphon them out right away. I also would recommend just manual removal is going to be the best friend. Some fish might help you with the bubble algae issue. So in my experience, fox faces tend to be really good at this.
Yep.
I even had a yellow tang that was really,
Oh, that's fun.
really good at eating bubble algae. But keep in mind, if you do like the fox face route, it's gonna iffy with corals. So if you have any zoas or
And they
soft
get really
corals,
big.
yeah,
Yeah, fast.
big, fast, grow fast, but voracious bubble algae. At least with the one I've had most recently, like I would just put frag plugs in there that had bubble algae, and he would eat them within minutes.
Oh, that's lucky. That's nice.
Within minutes.
Yep.
He did go rogue on the SPS though at one point. Like he just
Aggressive eater then, definitely.
he aggressively ate all the SPS. It was like only for 1 week. After that, he didn't touch them again. That was really weird.
Yeah, I agree, basically. I have another tip is if you have emerald crabs but they're not eating them, I find that they really only like the small ones. So if you're removing the bigger ones yourself, usually the small ones will get eaten. But I've found that they never really go for the really big ones.
I've also found that mature emerald crabs tend to eat less bubble algae, and
Yeah.
they're a bit more on the carnivorous side in my experience.
Get some
Like,
fresh
Get
emerald crabs.
the little ones. But also with that said, like the hair algae one, Thomas does have a help I wreck my tank video to go through even more
And
options.
that's the best way,
So,
really. Those
he'll-
Help I Wreck My Tank videos
Yeah.
are,
They're a blessing.
if you have an actual problem in your tank, you can definitely ask us, and we're down to help. But the in-depth video that Thomas does, if your subject is one that he's covered, is invaluable.
Very
we
very
can't
well
beat that.
presented.
Yeah.
I can't beat that in a live stream.
No way.
But
So yeah, definitely check it out.
I wish I had those when I was starting out in the hobby, honestly.
Yes.
20
Yeah,
years
going
ago?
to the fish store and
Come on,
asking the
Thomas.
guy. Yeah, I wish I had a Thomas. All right, let's get into some more. NS Eater 881 asks, I recently restarted my 90-gallon reef tank after a 2-year break. The few tests I have are about to expire. I was looking at getting some Hanna checkers, but then I saw the Marine Master. Will I just end up wanting most of the individual Hanna checkers, and how is accuracy?
Okay. You and I are going to have two very different answers to this because I think we've talked about
Yes.
which one to get versus the other. My personal take is if you are going to get multiple Hanna checkers or want to use the Hanna suite for testing, you're probably going to want the individual checkers because if you're like me, you're going to want to test things at the same time.
Right.
So I have like a whole rhythm where I can test nitrate, phosphate, alkalinity, and magnesium all at the same time. Whereas if I had the Marine Master, I had to do it one
You
at a
gotta do it
time,
one at a time. You do.
which
Yep.
slows me down. And I'm someone that I don't like testing that much. So if it takes me an extra 15, 20 minutes to complete
Right.
all my tests, that's just going to mean I don't do it as often.
Right.
So I personally would go individual checkers.
Yeah, I guess there's another argument for that too, is that if anything ever happens to one of your checkers, it's only one of them. You know, whereas if like you drop your Marine Master and it breaks, that's kind of on you.
It's the whole thing.
And all of them are broken. So there is a few good aspects to that. Here in the studio, I do use all of them individually, but at home, I have the one tester, the Marine Master, for two reasons. It takes up way less space, all those little eggs and bottles, and I'm prone to lose things, so I'll lose something. But the other one is that it records. It
Yes,
records all of the measurements, And that's really nice because I am going to lose wherever I wrote it down. And sometimes I want to go back and look at what my levels were like 2 months ago when I added this coral versus now. And so that's the big selling point to me, is that it records and it's really small. And it comes in a really cool briefcase.
Yeah. So there's both advantages. As far as accuracy goes, you're going to get the same accuracy out of both
They work
versions.
exactly the same using the same chemicals.
Yeah.
Yep.
So same chemicals, same reagents, same photometer essentially. It's just all integrated into one to read different wavelengths depending on which test is doing. But I personally would go individual checkers.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think we're selling like special stickers that Hannah helped us make with Mr. Chili right now. So if you get more than one checker, you're going to get a free sticker, which I think is really cool.
That is pretty cool. And you asked also, are you going to end up having all of them? Probably not. In the Marine Master, I'd say you're probably not going to end up buying, I think there's ammonia in there. And I think there's magnesium. And
no, calcium is one I would not use out of that.
And the calcium. And so I think maybe you might not end up buying or using all of them from Hannah. And so that would be another reason to do the individuals. And you could save a little bit by buying like just the nitrate and phosphate right now, and then alkalinity and calcium later. Something like that. Doesn't really matter. Ultimately, they both work exactly the same.
I mean, honestly, if you are going to use all the Hannah test kits, the Marine Master I think is cheaper.
I think
overall,
it is. I think it is cheaper.
Just overall, going to be cheaper if you're planning on using all of the test kits. But because I don't use Hannah for every single test I do, it's not quite as there for me.
Right. Yep. Well, thanks for the question. Hope that answers it for you. We'll do another one. Skids Up Aviation asks, I'm currently running a 47-gallon tide line, wanting to upgrade. Do you recommend a 75-gallon or 125-gallon? Also, if upgrading, do you recommend an all-in-one or a tank with a sump?
Okay, so this is going to all depend on a couple different things. First, I would look at your budget. I would look at how much space you have in where you're trying to put the tank. Because 75 to 125 gallon, in my head at least, you're going from a 4-foot tank to a 6-foot tank.
Me too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And between those two tanks, I personally prefer the 75-gallon footprint because like the ratio front to back compared to length is much better than it is.
4x2 is really nice. Yeah.
I mean, 4x18 is nicer than 6x18. It just seems too skinny for 125, just from my experience.
Yeah.
I also am one that I would rather have a smaller tank with better quality equipment than a bigger tank with lower quality equipment.
Sure.
Just for peace of mind. And then with tanks this large, I would go sump versus all-in-one because the equipment for 75-gallon to 125-gallon, as far as anything that's going to fit in an all-in-one chamber or hang on back, I just don't.
You're very limited.
You're very limited, and I also just don't like having that large of equipment outside my tank if I have to hang it on the back.
Well, personally, like when a skimmer gets large, they get pretty loud.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want it in my sump. So I will agree. I would definitely go with a sump instead of an all-in-one. And between 75 and 125, I think for me, it's going to depend if you want a tang or not. If you're going to go for a tang or 2 or maybe 3, I would do 125 gallons. That 6-foot swim space is basically essential for most tangs. If you're into the smaller fish, I like the footprint of the 75, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on what you're going for.
Yeah, just think of what your ultimate goal is for the tank, and then just space and budget. What it allows for, but either way, go for a sump, in my opinion. Yeah,
I think for me, it's anything over, like 45 gallons, I'd go for a sump.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for the question. And if anyone else has questions, we're answering them live. Put them down below. Duran Duploy asks, does Seachem Metroplex work for ick on fish that are still eating great?
So Metroplex is not a treatment for ick. The treatments for ick are limited to copper, chloroquine phosphate, hyposalinity, tank transfer.
Yep. There's some herbal options that
may
dubiously work,
but as far as like scientific study is proven, they're not proven to actually like kill the parasites.
Exactly.
So those are your 4 options for treating ick. So if you have ick, I'd go one of those 4 routes if you want to treat it. Assuming you're wanting to go the route of eradication, if this is in a full-fledged reef tank, you don't have a way to set up a specific hospital tank and leaving that tank fishless for 76 days, I'd go management route, which we've talked about. Involves things like UV sterilizer, wide variety of food, boosting it with like Celcon and other vitamin supplements that will boost their immunity. Even running like a canister, like a RDI canister with the sediment filter in there can help reduce ick parasites and stuff like that. But as as far as Metroplex go, that's better for internal parasite treatment.
Yeah, definitely. I think you nailed it. For ick, my personal go-to, if you can get it, is chloricum phosphate. If not, I do copper.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Colin Higgins asks, I have a Nuvo 20. What's the best way to set up filtration? The Nuvo 20 is the all-in-one, right?
Yes, that doesn't mean all-in-one. I think it's going to have 2 overflows,
two
overflows,
dual?
2 middle chambers, and then that 1 single middle chamber with the return pump.
With the 2 little
With
nozzles
the,
coming out. In that case, I would either go, I know Innovative makes the caddies.
That makes the caddies, yes.
So I might do a caddy in one of them and a filter stock in the other. The caddy, I would put something like a ChemiPure or some media that does well in a bag, not a tumbling media. And then I would do, where is it? We got that little skimmer over there. What is that one? The
Aquariums NF1.
NF1. I'm bad with the numbers and letters. The NF1, which is like an internal skimmer that goes into like an all-in-one chamber. I love that skimmer. We have it running over there on that JBJ, and it's killer.
It's working.
It's really quiet too.
Yeah.
That was something I just complained about. Skimmers are really loud, especially in all-in-one chambers. That one's actually pretty quiet.
Yeah. So if it was my all-in-one, I would go for a roller mat in one of them. So Innovative Marine has their own roller mats that work in there.
Is that the little manual one?
No, they have the automatic one now.
They have the automatic one? Okay.
So I would do one of those. I would do the caddy and the other overflow with just a filter faucet in the top chamber just for mechanical filtration, then run something like ChemiPure or other media for carbon or GFO purposes if I need it. One of the chambers will have just the heater, and then I'm not huge on skimmers personally for smaller tanks.
Sure.
So I would just leave the other chamber empty and then have it just for water volume, or add a second heater if I'm running dual heaters, or biomedia. So if I'm going to add something like those new Pisces USA, like the live media that's already like pre-seeded, I would put like that in there.
Okay.
So that would be what I would do personally.
I like it. Yeah, you said I don't really like nano skimmers either for skimming. I like it for oxygenation. So that's mainly what I go for.
I'm unfortunate, and my house is really old, so it's not very well sealed, so I don't really have a pH issue.
You don't have a problem. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, mine's very sealed. I'm in a basement, so it's, definitely needs some oxygenation. Thank you for the question. Let us know what you're going to do. Mr. Melander also asks again, how can I safely move a rock flower anemone? That is difficult.
As with moving any anemone.
Moving any anemone is going to be hard. The cheeky answer, the silly answer, is move the rock that it's on. But that's probably not what you're looking for. If you're looking to get it to move somewhere else in the tank, point a power head directly at it is the easiest way. But if you're looking to like move it out of the tank, good luck. I would put power head straight on it. You can try and tickle the foot to get it to let go, but if it's really in a crack, which rock flowers love, like big deep cracks, it's gonna be hard.
I was gonna say that, using a turkey baster to maybe like shoot the turkey baster right at the foot. That should help it loosen up. Yeah.
So. Another tip that I've heard, and it's worked for really big anemones, but never for anything small. So you can try is an ice cube. Like taking an ice cube, putting it in a Ziploc bag, and then taking it and lightly rubbing the foot of it with it. The intense cold kind of gets it to shrink up. I've never had like a small bubble tip or anything let go because of it, but the really big ones will just kind of shrink away from it and let go, which is really cool to watch.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never tried that.
There you go.
But I don't have any big nebs to try that on, so.
Yeah, again, only works on the big ones. Go ahead and try it if you want on a small one, but I've never had luck. Power head's the way to go. Turkey baster and patience, lots of patience. They move really slow. They move way slower than we do.
Yeah, and depending on like how urgent you are at like trying to get this out of there, adding some smaller rocks next to it. So then if you do point a power head at it, it might be inclined to just grab onto the rock. So then you have a smaller rock that you can just lift out of the tank and you're good.
Great point. Hopefully that helps, Mr. Melander. There's unfortunately not really a great way to remove an anemone. Let's do another question. We got Enesitar881 asks again, I have a lot of large live rock with coral on them. What should I use to glue? Thick super glue was a nightmare since it cured when it got wet. So you're trying to glue the rocks together, I assume. If that's the case, if you're trying to glue the coral onto the rock, clean the rock that you're gluing it onto and then use this glue. It's only curing on the outside of the glue. The glue inside of it is just fine. So just push it down real hard and twirl it around in the super glue until you feel it hold. But I think the question is more like how do you mount rocks together that already have coral in them?
That's a good question. Honestly, being that it is already live rock and if there's already coral on it, I would still go like the same approach on both and use the epoxy glue sandwich method for both approaches. So gluing the coral on there, especially if it's large. And being that it is already living live rock, I don't know how well established your tank is or if this is like a new build that you're trying to do with all this live rock, but glue epoxy sandwich the live rock together too, since it's already living, it's already live, it's going to be harder to glue it together and keep it from drying out. I would just do the same on both.
Yep, and keep in mind, there's two types of epoxies that are really prevalent in the hobby right now. There's the like quick set, which is like the Tunzi stuff, the Max Spec stuff, that it dries really quickly, but it stays a little bit flexible. So it remains like a kind of really thick rubber. Whereas the more traditional stuff like Two Little Fishies, Seachem, they offer it the 2-part in a tube, and that stuff is going to take maybe 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes to harden, but it's going to harden rock solid. So if you're trying to do 2 rocks and maybe defy gravity a little bit with your glue joint, then you're going to want to use the really, really like strong, like the Two Little Fishy stuff. But if it's a smaller thing like a coral or a small rock, then the more flexible stuff is easy to use. I'd also say, I said it with the coral, I'm going to say it again. Scrub whatever surface you're gluing to, you have to scrub it. No matter what, you have to. The bacterial layer and the algae layer that's growing on your rock, when you put the super glue to it, the bacteria and the algae will die and then no longer be attached to anything.
Because you're gluing the bacteria, not the rock at that point.
Exactly. So scrub, like way more than you'd think, and then glue. That's really the key.
Solid advice.
Yeah. I've done it a few times.
I mean, you only have a few tanks here.
Yeah, a few. These ones I'm very proud of. None of the rocks have fallen. I glued them really well, but I have definitely had rocks fall. Through trial and error, you figure it out. Let's do another question. Zach Braswell asks, I'm starting to prepare for SPS. How often should I test to track magnesium and other metals? So with magnesium, I'd say is a little less important.
I'm gonna just go on. I'm gonna just broaden like outside of metals. So if I'm doing SPS, especially if I'm just getting started, never done it before, I recommend doing weekly testing. Just weekly test your alkalinity, your calcium, magnesium, at least for like the first month. Get a feel for what the consumption rate is. Because at this point, you're probably going to have to start doing something like 2-part dosing or all for reef. So you really do need to be dialed in and be testing that regularly, just to make sure that you're not overdosing, not underdosing. Just make sure everything's in line. That way, if your corals aren't doing well, you have like some idea of what those parameters are at. Have some indication why they're not doing well. Can make corrections if you need to. But as far as just like once it's established after the first month, once you're accustomed to it, have your routine down. Magnesium is one that I check maybe once a month. Like I don't test it very often. Alkalinity is more important, so my general cadence is I will test nitrate phosphate weekly with alkalinity, and then calcium's like every other week, and then once a month I'll throw in magnesium with that, and I'll do like a once a month where it's like I test everything.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. It's pretty fitting. We just got a bunch of SPS. These tanks didn't have SPS before, and they do now. So what are we doing? I'm testing every day. So these tanks get alkalinity testing every single day. They get calcium about 2 to 3 times a week. And I don't test magnesium. I test it maybe once a month, like you're saying. But even with the new corals, I'm not testing any extra. I'm still going just once a month on my magnesium. Nitrate and phosphate, this tank is having a massive phosphate issue, and so this is getting phosphate tests every day as well. But the other ones are getting it once a week.
Yeah, and as far as magnesium goes, the only SPS that I would really worry about testing magnesium any more often with is just monoporas, because they are like a canary in the coal mine when it comes to magnesium.
Big caps.
Those will tell you if your magnesium is low, but if you're just getting started, test it. That way you know what the monopora looks like when it does get low, because if you just see the monopora stressed out, you're just going to guess and not know. But they will tell you when it is low, for sure.
And I'll answer the rest of it too. And other metals, I'm going to guess that you're like talking, ICP test things. I would test, if you're just starting to prepare for SPS, I would test maybe a week before you get them with ICP, and then every 6 months is kind of my ICP standards.
Yeah, I'm starting to have some change in heart as far as ICP testing goes. I've been starting to see some merit in testing a little bit more frequently with ICP because a lot of people have a bad habit of they only test ICP when something's not right.
Yes.
So when you are doing your ICP test and something's not looking right, like your corals aren't doing well, you don't have any baseline of what actually is good for your tank. Like what is balanced for your system? What is helping your corals grow and look really good? So based on just that alone, I would, at least starting out, I would do it monthly just to get, just so you have that window and you have that insight of like, what is the trend? What is helping these things grow? Maybe after a year, you're like, okay, baseline's good. I know what good looks like. Now I can like cut it off because I don't need that kind of insight.
Yes.
But if you do have like a really heavily dominated SPS tank and you don't have like a really efficient way of like adding those trace elements because they're being consumed so rapidly, then even the monthly is good there too, because then you can buy the trace elements that you need and dose them with more confidence, knowing your consumption after testing monthly. Because if you're testing every 6 months, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's even more pertinent if you're doing something like a methodology like Triton or something like that. We run Triton on the big 360. That gets monthly ICP tests, for example, because it's so packed with SPS.
Yeah, and Triton also just launched. They have a subscription ICP now, so
I got to get on that.
So you can get the ICP test. You sign up for a subscription. You pay a monthly fee. And then you get a monthly test, and then they've customized the bottle trace elements to your tank for that monthly period.
I heard about that.
Which
that is
I
exciting.
think it's ingenious. It sounds really exciting. I'm not ready to dedicate that.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at subscriptions. I don't know how to cancel them.
That's pretty funny. No, that's something that would be really good on the larger tanks, for example.
Yeah, like the 360.
The 360, that's 400 gallons of acro.
I think it's worth the subscription fee to keep your 400-gallon tank going and looking great.
It's really cheap, to be honest.
Yeah.
Compared to even the electricity bill for a tank that big. The additives aren't that bad. Let's see.
I think we answered that.
We answered that one. Let's go to the next one. Darklight 828 asks, is a recirculating the best way to run a CO2 scrubber? I heard Reef Dudes Devin mention something about a potential buildup of toxic substances. It seems like a fairly inexpensive way for a bump up on pH.
I personally have always ran them recirculating because like running them in the office here or at my old apartment when I did not have very good ventilation, air exchange between the outside and inside, I just burned through the CO2 media too fast. Like I did not want to pay to refill my cartridge every week because it was burning up that fast because the CO2 was just so high, especially here in the office when you have bodies in the office.
Yep.
This was like right before COVID. Like everyone was working. Everyone's breathing here 9 to 5.
Yeah.
pH, down the drain for pretty much every single tank. So recirculating was the better way to save money on running the CO2 scrubber. And honestly, I felt like that was better. Like
I think it works nearly as well. Is it more efficient if you're not recirculating it? Or like more effective? Probably. Like science probably says it. But for what your goals are, recirculating works just well.
Yeah, I don't think there's recirculating substances, like toxic substances. I haven't heard about this. This question is the first time I'm hearing about it. I might need to check out that Devin video though.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Maybe there's like something new that we don't know about.
Yeah, I haven't used a CO2 scrubber in a while, so maybe there is something new. But I've never had an issue running them recirculating. I think the 360 had it running recirculating for quite a while. So yeah, no problem really on that. Thank you for the question. Let's do another one. Kono Savino asks, would Phosphate RX be safe to use without filter socks or any mechanical filtration?
Okay, so anything like Phosphate RX or lanthanum chloride, I would not use without a filter sock just because you're going to then have sediment buildup of that phosphate and lanthanum chloride reaction. It's just going to settle out in your sand bed, in your sump, in your rear chambers. The filter socks, filter roller, mechanical filtration in general is there to physically get it out of your system. Yeah. It's kind of like, yes, biopellets work if you don't have a protein skimmer, but then there's nothing taking the bacteria out that you're using, like generating with the biopellets.
Exactly.
So you're getting it out of the water in a sense that you're not going to be able to test for it, but it's still there. So it's could come back and leach back in once the equilibrium's flipped. Like 6 months down the road, you might start having it leach back into the tank.
Yeah. Yeah, it is removing the phosphate, but it's not removing it from the system. It's just removing it from the water that you can test. but it could totally go back. So you want to have something that physically takes it out of the whole system.
Yeah, which is kind of like you can have a refugium, which will lower your nitrate and phosphate, but until you harvest the chaeto, you haven't removed it from the system because that chaeto could start dying and then it's back in your system.
Yep.
So same idea. So anytime you're running biopellets, phosphate removal media, the whole idea is to just, it captures it and then you need a way to get it out.
Yep, exactly. Thank you for the question. Don Dela Huse 9319 asks, have you heard of anyone using or anyone running their Radion XR15 blues at 100%? I'm presently running my 4 Radion XR15 lights at 75% on my 180 gallon. Yeah, I've seen people running them 100%. I would say the only thing I would try to avoid is running them for 100% for like a long time. I wouldn't run it for like 6 hours at 100%.
No.
But like your big arc, your main photo period, if it's like 4 or 5 hours long at 100%, no problem.
Yeah, I've ran them at 100%. I've ran other lights at 100% for like the peak sun, like high noon effect, where it's at that intensity for about 4 hours. And on both sides of my spectrum, I have 2 little like sunrise, sunset.
Yep.
So it's like it drops down to like 75% or 50% for like an hour on each side, and then it's dipping. So it's like a little step.
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking the 360 has some Radions on it now, and they are totally running at 100%.
Cooking. You got acros.
Cooking. So. The top of that tank is at that 850 par. So
hey, that's
cooking.
The acros probably like it.
Oh, they love it. Some of their coloration is color I've never seen come out of acros before.
It's changing, and I like.
It's really cool.
I like seeing the change.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some questions that we had before. Fats asks, my skimmer makes a lot of micro bubbles on the outside bottom. What could be my problem? It's a new skimmer. So
this is a good question. So new skimmer, micro bubbles are going to happen.
Yes.
Like just expect micro bubbles for the first like 1 to 2 weeks. There's a break-in period that needs to happen. That break-in period is the generally acrylic or whatever other material is being used. There is residue from manufacturing. Regardless of the material, it comes from a facility that is manufacturing a plastic of some sort, which has natural oils on it.
Yes.
It's kind of photo or hydrophilic, I think is the right word. So
it avoids water.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
So it's scared of water essentially, and then it wants the bubbles form. So very common. Breaking in is just those oils being released off the surfaces, and then biofilms covering the surfaces, which makes the bubble and foam actually stay as a foam head, so it doesn't like break apart. So that is completely normal, especially for a new skimmer. If this is happening after like 2 to 3 weeks, there might be something wrong with like the way it's tuned. So you may have a incorrect water depth.
Yep.
There might the air hose might not be on all the way. The pump might not be seated right. Base plate might not be on right. So just look at like the physical assembly if you had to put it together when you got it. Look at those things. If not, call the support team for whoever the manufacturer is to get some more insight. They can help you out. Yep,
I think you nailed it. If it is brand new and still breaking in and you get in the bubbles, one thing that I've found is, especially on DC skimmers, the water height is going to be like the determining factor of if the bubbles come out. But in general, like you said, it's like, imagine that the skimmer body is really slippery on the inside, so those bubbles are moving a little too fast and they escape. That's what's happening basically. So you got to slow down the chamber, the reaction chamber, so that the bubbles don't fly out.
Exactly.
But yeah, just give it a little bit of time. Something that that has worked for me. I actually, it was a long time ago. I don't remember what the manufacturer was, but I got one that you could like feel the manufacturing like silicone grease on the inside. I took Dawn dish soap, all of the grease, all of the oils out of it, and then rinse with a little bit of bleach, maybe hydrogen peroxide, something like that, and rinse, and that got all of the oils off of the inside.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a trick if you have the space, if it's a submersible skimmer, 5-gallon bucket, put it in the bucket, run it with saltwater and vinegar.
Yep.
And that gets it going.
Yep.
And the vinegar also acts as
right
like
away.
a carbon source, so bacteria will more readily cover the surface right away.
Yeah, some little hacks that you can use for your skimmer. Sometimes skimmers are really finicky. They're a really simple product, but sometimes they're kind of hard to get dialed in. So.
I was doing a deep dive a few weeks ago. The engineering that goes behind it is mind-blowing.
It's a lot more than you think. It's not just a cone with a pump in it.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I was enlightened.
Well, you're looking at all the different diffuser plates, and like every brand has like the Nios diffuser plate has like little moving parts in it or something. Is that the one? There's one of them that has little like moving parts in the diffuser plate. It's crazy. Some of the engineering behind it is crazy.
Diffuser plates, the needle wheel,
the impeller,
the silencer, the impeller, the body shape.
It all plays. Yep. All right, let's do another one. Alicia Carrillo asks, I still have foggy saltwater after 1 week in my new 9-gallon tank. What can I do? Foggy water.
So, if the tank is new, you have bacterial bloom happening. I would just wait it out, personally. This is still going on after a few weeks. I would then look at possibly doing UV sterilizer or just do a larger water change just to calm it down. But your tank's only a week old. I would just wait it out, honestly.
Yeah. Also, what sand did you use? If it's dry sand, did you clean it? Did you rinse it? There's a lot of dusty stuff in dry sand, and you have to clean it. I learned that the hard way. I did that tank over there.
It was cloudy for a bit.
It was cloudy for a bit, and we rinsed it, right, Aaron? We rinsed it for like 10 minutes. Aaron's our videographer behind here. She watched me rinse it for like 10 minutes, and it came out cloudy still. So if you're using dry sand, that could be the cause of your cloudiness. Same thing with like dry rock, like the Marco rock comes pretty dusty because it's back there in a giant vat of a bunch of rock. And so you're gonna wanna dust it off, rinse it off before you use it.
Yeah.
So those could be some of the issues, but I'm gonna go with you. It's almost certainly bacteria.
Yeah, new tank just tells me bacterial bloom.
Yeah.
Cycling, it's totally normal. Don't be discouraged.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Give it some more time. Oh yeah asks, how would a maroon clownfish hold up in a peaceful tank stocked with different inverts? Well, the maroon clownfish would be just fine.
He'll do great.
Yeah, it depends on what we're talking about when we say peaceful. I find that other than other clownfish, they're not that bad. They bite your hand a lot. But
they hold their own. They don't take anything from anybody else in the tank. But as long as it's not like super peaceful, and the maroon clownfish isn't the first addition to the tank, you should be fine.
Yeah, and same thing with inverts. I've had like really big maroon clowns kind of pick at like really small shrimps.
Like sexy shrimp, probably not the best option.
Yeah, but it's also usually because they're hungry.
Yeah.
Feed them more, and you probably won't have that issue. Yeah, they're just kind of aggressive to other clowns and hands. They're not bad.
No.
Gantify asks, do Aptasia-eating filefish really eat Aptasia? I want to get one, but I'm worried about him not touching an Aptasia and going after my zoas.
I think we just talked about this a little earlier. So any fish for a pest problem is not a guarantee that it's going to eat the pest that people think it does. So Aptasia-eating filefish are no exception. You have one that no longer eats Aptasia after it spent years here.
Years.
Eating Aptasia.
I'm so frustrated. He's like this big, a good like 6 inches. He's massive, and he would eat all sizes of Aptasia for, how long did we have him? Like 5 years?
Yeah. He's been here since the WWC BRS hybrid method tank, like the 750.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been here.
He's been here.
Yeah.
And he stopped like last month.
I think that's a sign. He's retired.
He's retired. He's
put in his work.
Yep.
He worked 24 hours, 7 days a week for 5 years. He put in his hours. He's done.
Definitely. I mean, I find that even I'll go to the fish store and buy one that's I literally watched eat something that I'm trying to get it to eat, like an emerald crab that eats bubble algae or an Aptasia-eating filefish going after, not even Aptasia sometimes, like going after a little zoa like you mentioned. Those are the ones I want. I want the ones that eat, and you take them home, they stop.
Yeah. Change of environment, so not guaranteed, but I will say more than likely will, just not going to be very, I can't guarantee that it will.
No.
So don't quote me on saying that it will and get mad if it doesn't, but most do.
And I will say probably if it goes after Aptasia really well, it's probably going to go after other things pretty well too. So if your zoas, actually I've found that if the zoas are kind of the same color, they like them even more.
So if you have like mohawk zoanthids, which you probably don't want, at least personally me, I had them take over my tank. I was like, this Aptasia filefish can eat those too.
Yeah, but mine, I had one in my tank and it would eat Aptasia, but not the Rastas. But it would eat my Blastos. So
see, mine ate the pretty zoas, left the mohawks alone, also ate Aptasia.
Yeah, ultimately, to get rid of any pest, you guys, we are the best.
Your hands.
Crew. You could add fish, but it's mainly just
Brings
novelty.
F-Aptasia.
Yep, F-Aptasia.
Great product to help you. And in my opinion, if you're going to do any biological control, we're going to need a debug, assuming you don't have a RAS in there.
We got music going. I think it's time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching. We are going to wrap up here. It's another Q&A. See you in a few weeks. Peace out.